Hello everyone, and welcome to the 716 Sports Blizzard podcast. Today my special guest is Jonathan, and we're gonna talk about the Four Nations tournament, the Sabres, the Amerks, and other sports talk.
Well, we'll start with the Four Nations tournament. USA lost to Canada 3-2 in overtime in the finals. Connor McDavid with the goal in overtime. But overall, I'm happy with the tournament. It brought international hockey back brought professionals to international hockey for the first time in a decade. It was a lot of fun. And really, I think the reason for the new rules is because for the reason for this tournament was to test out the new rules, the 3-2-1 point system and the 10-minute overtime, which I hope the NHL inserts next year.
I kind of like it too that they had that because um like maybe now they won't have to have a shootout.
Well, they will have a shootout, but we will have a lot less shootouts because there'll be less shootouts and more overtime. And if there's a 3-2-1 point system, they'll be more willing to just to end it right then and there. But it was a tough loss for the USA. But overall, I'm really happy and I'm really excited. I'm really optimistic for the Olympics. Go Bills! Yeah, but we got the USA. They beat Canada in the preliminary round, and they lost to them in overtime. But this is despite the fact that they were missing Tage Thompson, Clayton Keller, Caulfield, Quentin Hughes. Bill Guerin got criticized for putting in Kreider, Nelson, Trucker Miller, but I'll give him a pass. It was kind of I'm not going to say a meaningless tournament because the athletes didn't take it seriously, but it's a less important tournament versus what we're going to have next year. The Olympics I'm really excited for.
Yeah, the Olympics, getting the Olympics back, that'd be cool. So, how are the Amerks doing so far?
First place in the AHL. Devin Levi got a shutout. You look at Devin Levi's numbers compared to Ryan Miller's. He is developing real well in Rochester, and there's a lot of reason to be excited for the Amerks. This is probably the best Amerks team they have had since I started following the team in 2007. Probably the best team since they won the Calder Cup in '96. From top to bottom, they look good. And this will hopefully be good for the Sabres, because you think about the last time they won the Calder Cup in 1996, how that helped set up the next couple of years, next 5 years with Hasek, and how they got to the finals 3 years after that in 1999, or in 04-05, they had the best record in the entire league. And then 05-06 and 06-07, the Sabres had the best record. So there are some reasons for optimism for Sabres fans. It's hard. I know fans have no faith in Kevin Adams and no faith in Terry Pegula, and that kind of ruins the optimism, which I understand. But you look at what happened in Rochester, there's some reasons for optimism. Any questions or?
How do you think Lindy Ruff, when the Sabres won their game last night 8-2, how do you think he feels about the next game against Anaheim?
Well, I think he's very excited. I mean, the Sabres are starting to play better. The problem is it is too late. It's going to take a miracle to make the playoffs, and that's the frustrating thing about the Sabres. They play so much better when the pressure is off and playoffs are out of sight. In first periods, they look great. The problem is they're the youngest team in the league. They're mentally fragile, and when the pressure's on, they panic, and that's how they went on that 13-game losing streak, which pretty much killed the season.
Do you think a miracle can happen and the Sabres make the playoffs?
Highly unlikely. I mean, I know we had the miracle on ice, so anything can happen, but I highly doubt it. They just gotta get veteran. They gotta get veteran presence and get ready for next year. I mean, Kevin Adams. I mean, despite the better play, I still think Kevin Adams needs to go. The Sabres need an experienced president of hockey operations, and I mean, you look at the numbers. They're really not that far off. They have the number 10 scoring in the NHL. They're one of the best in the league in 5-on-5. They can improve the power play and the defense. They could be a playoff team next year. This should not take 3 years to build back up. But understandably, fans have no faith in Kevin Adams and Terry Pegula to get it done.
And it seems like the Sabres, it seems like they're only missing like one piece to their team.
They really need that veteran presence. They had $7 million on an unused cap, but it seems like Pegula's operating the Sabres cheap, which I want to talk about him right now. Which today is the anniversary, the 14th anniversary of him buying the Sabres in 2011, and again, it just continues to blow my mind why this continues to go so right for the Bills and so wrong for the Sabres. But here's when I think about, I'm looking at our opponent yesterday in the Rangers. Their season is falling apart. But here's the thing about the Rangers. Their owner, James Dolan, is like Terry Pegula. He runs the Knicks, he runs the Rangers. With the Knicks, he constantly meddled with the Knicks, and he ran them into the ground. But the Rangers, he took a hands-off approach, and they've been successful. They've been a very good franchise, just like what's happening here with the Bills and Sabres. But now it looks like the roles are reversing. So he hires an experienced. He just hired an experienced president of hockey, a president of basketball operations to run the Knicks, and he's starting to meddle with the Rangers. So I'm wondering if that's going to happen here in Buffalo. Will Pegula hire a president of hockey ops to run the Sabres and start meddling with the Bills?
True.
But honestly, even if that does happen, I look at the state of the Bills, I look at the state of the Sabres, I think it's going to be a few years before the Bills window closes and the Sabres window opens. I mean, they could make the play. I think the Sabres could make the playoffs next year, but they need a lot of work. I'm looking at this talent. It's just not very good overall. The Bills, I mean, this was supposed to be a reset, restart, retool season, yet they were 3 points away from the Super Bowl. So I think the Bills will be good for. I think this era where the Bills are good, the Sabres are not good. It should last a few more seasons. I mean, you gotta figure sooner or later it will change, but I don't see it happen anytime soon.
Do you think the Amerks could make the playoffs and win the Calder Cup this year? Maybe.
Yeah, they're first place in the AHL, and I think they're amongst the favorites to win the Calder Cup. Although they did lose to some of the top contenders like Hershey or Laval. So it's going to be tough. But this, as I said, I still think this is one of the best AHL teams. Roseanne, Kulik, Levi, this is what you should be doing. And they should not be called up. The Sabres season is dead. Keep Levi in Rochester. I think the kid will be good. I mean, especially Levi. If the Sabres have a chance to end this drought and get good quickly, they just need Levi just to have an amazing breakout season, like what Ryan Miller had in 2010 or in 2006.
Yeah.
And that's how I get this help.
Like, Laval and the Penguins. What is their association teams?
Well, the Wilkes-Barre Square Penguins are with the Pittsburgh Penguins, and the Laval Rocket is with Montreal. Montreal is a suburb of Laval is a suburb of Montreal, so Laval Rockets with the Montreal Canadiens.
And what about Hershey? What is that? Is that
Washington Capitals?
Washington. So, like, in the Amerks division, who is in their division that they have to face?
Laval, Toronto, Syracuse, Cleveland, and Bellevue. Bellevue's with the Senators. They're called the Bellevue Senators. So, I mean, the Amerks are leading that division. So,
do they have to play the Providence Bruins at all?
Yes, but they're in a different division.
So, in the AHL, like the Amerks, how many times do they have to play each other?
They play 76 games. I don't think there's a specific number for face your division rivals. You just face them, whoever you have schedule against, and you play 76 games. They have divisional playoff format, so top teams in the division face each other, both as a wild card format. So it's similar to the NHL format. 16 teams, best 4 out of 7 series. Always, well, the first round is 3 out of 5, then 3 4 out of 7s before the Calder Cup.
Couldn't they do that in the NHL also, or no?
It's the same format. Well, actually, it's a little complicated in the AHL. It's the formats are pretty similar. They go by divisions.
Who for your early NHL playoff prediction? Who do you think makes it all the way through and wins the Stanley Cup?
I'm gonna go with the Edmonton Oilers. I think they're overdue. Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl are just too good not to win the Stanley Cup, and I think just overdue. They're the odds-on favorite. It's just overdue for the Stanley Cup to come back to Canada.
I mean, it would be nice to see a different team make it all the way to the Stanley Cup.
Right.
And we're I think we're 60 days away from the draft for the NFL.
Oh yeah. As I said, I want the Bills to go I want Brandon Bean to go all defense, 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 defense. They need that. They need that pass rusher, someone like Myles Garrett. But if you can't afford Myles Garrett, just draft one and just. The only thing they need on offense is a deep threat wide receiver, but the offense is mostly all set. All line check. The running back check, although I'm a little concerned about James Cook. I mean, he's wanting $15 million. He's good, but not at $15 million. So they need to focus on the defense.
Do you think they re-sign James Cook?
I really don't know. I really hope they can get that price down. I mean, maybe they could trade Cook for Myles Garrett if he continues to be greedy and demands over $15 million. But I think they should sign James Cook. I mean, he's proven to be a legit running back. I mean, he's not great. I wouldn't put him in the same Barkley as guys like Derrick Henry or Saquon Barkley or, when healthy, Christian McCaffrey. But he's very effective. He is damn good.
Yeah, I was out today. I went and watched some college bowling over at a bowling alley locally here, and I mean it was all good colleges too. So
nice. Yeah, I went to my mom's house today. Played Cards Against Humanity. Saw Raiders of the Lost Ark. So any other sports topics you want to talk
about? Well, I mean, spring training started for baseball, so that.
Yeah, I'm looking for a baseball season. As a Yankees fan, I'll say this. The good news is, despite losing Soto, I do think the Yankees have gotten better from last year. The bad news is, so have the Dodgers. So I predicted a Yankees-Dodgers rematch, and hope they can find some way to beat the Dodgers, but the Dodgers have just flat out gotten better from last season.
Yeah, and I mean, hopefully the rest of the Sabres season, they can, and in important news, Ovechkin, I think he's 13 goals away now from breaking Wayne Gretzky's NHL goal scoring record.
I think he's gonna do it. I mean, he'll probably have another year left. I think he should. I think he's definitely gonna break Gretzky's record. And it's just amazing what Washington's doing. I mean, it looked like Father Time was catching up to them, and their window was closing, but they're as hot as ever.
Yeah, they scored 7 goals today. 7.
That's crazy.
Yeah, they're.
I know I predicted Edmonton to win the Stanley Cup, but
yeah,
I think Washington could be there as well.
They beat the Oilers today 7-3, and the Rangers beat the Penguins 5-3.
So
and there's a couple games ongoing right now, so the Stars and the Islanders, Stars are up 4-2. The Flames and the Sharks, the Flames were up 2-1 end of the second. Canucks.
You guys ready for a Twitter moment? Sure hope you are.
Canucks and Utah tied at 1 end of the second period going into the third. So I mean, and there's a couple games on tomorrow night. Winnipeg, San Jose, and Vegas, and the Kings. So, and the Sabres play again Tuesday against the Anaheim Ducks.
I think the Sabres should win that game. The Ducks are terrible. The Sabres are getting hot, and again, I really feel like the Sabres underachieved this year. I mean, the talent there isn't great, but they should not be one of the worst teams in the league. 2 years ago, they were 1 point away from breaking the playoff drought. Last year, they regressed, but they still they were still a few points out, like playoff spot. So, I mean, I'm not. Yeah, they have the talent to at least make the playoffs. The problem is Lindy Ruff just getting the most of it. I mean, yes, it's not great talent, and I do agree that Kevin Adams needs to be fired. But they
or just
they
get
should,
a president of hockey ops and keep Kevin Adams.
maybe, I don't know if that would work that way, but maybe. So, Robbie, who do you think is going to win the Stanley Cup and who do you think is going to win the World Series?
Okay. World Series. I think it could be a rematch, and I'm gonna say Yankees win it this time. Hopefully.
I hope you're right. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, so we'll see what happens.
And Stanley Cup. I'm gonna have to go maybe either Edmonton or Vegas.
Mm-hmm. It'll be interesting. I mean, I'd be annoyed seeing Jack Eichel win another Stanley Cup, but so I'm definitely rooting for Edmonton. But Vegas has the full package to win another cup.
Do you have anything else to add before I do my outro and
No, I think I'm ready to wrap it up. So I got work tomorrow. I go to bed. So
all right. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in to the 716 Sports Blizzard podcast. Check me out on X and Instagram at 716 Blizzard and also on YouTube. Hit like, share, comment, subscribe. Let's go Buffalo.
Buffalo.